3, 2, Lillyana, you.
Okay,
Shh. Hey.
so, globesity. That is the term that has been coined for the global obesity epidemic. I mean, you know it's bad when they have to have a term for it.
Are you serious about this now?
Yes, I'm serious.
That's awesome. I've never heard that before.
World Health
Globesity.
Organization. But I know we don't like clip art in here, but I just
That
wanna-
gets the point across.
This is a good visual. 1 in 8 people in the United States, as of 2022, were obese.
Now, what's he considering obese?
Obesity.
You doing the
is-
BMI?
I mean, that's technically World Health Organization defines obesity as having a BMI over 30. That's
Yep.
not really the most reliable
Agreed.
tool, but you can look at somebody that's 400 pounds and say that they're obese.
Bingo. But I also know bodybuilders that are labeled obese. That's what's crazy.
Yeah.
They have 6% or less body fat, but because their height to weight ratio.
But that's not obesity. Obesity is defined as having an excess amount of fat deposits.
Okay.
So if it's muscle,
Over
it's not
30%
obesity.
fat's the best way to look at it.
Mhm.
Gotcha.
Okay. So these are the biggest issues that I see with obesity. The health issues that they cause, having such low recovery rates from it, and it affects people's mental health. This isn't really a reason, just something I'm going to touch on, accountability, near at the end here. But first, health issues. 30% of obese
Bingo.
people have type 2 diabetes. When you are obese, I mean, you have a 25 to 60% increased risk of having a heart attack and or a stroke.
Yep.
And around 45% of obese people have sleep apnea.
You guys all know what that is?
No,
They
Mr.
can't
Rose.
sleep.
Tell them what it is.
Sleep apnea is when you stop breathing while you're sleeping.
And then all of a sudden
All
you just
the
gasp.
disease.
You
Get
wake
the
up in the
masks.
middle
I
of the
have
night.
one. Yeah, I have
Yeah.
one.
But these are only a few things that happen when you're obese in terms of your health. There's increased risk of cancer, cardiovascular disease in general, not just heart attack. But these are really big issues, and a lot of people, we're seeing more and more of it every single year. But the good news is, almost all of these things that you get when you are obese are reversible. When/if you ever lose weight, your risk of stroke goes down. Sometimes, not all the time, if it doesn't turn into type 1, you can get rid of type 2 diabetes, and your sleep apnea will likely go away. My parents, their best friends, are obese people, and I know just how being obese can affect your health. Nicest guy ever, he's 47, and he almost had to have his leg amputated a few years ago because he had a blood clot because of how big he is, which is extremely unfortunate.
You imagine the heart working to pump through all that?
Exactly. But yeah, so these are the health issues you can have, but if you lose weight, they are reversible, and by never becoming obese, you likely won't have to worry about it at all. Next, the recovery rates for obesity are so low. Less than 1% of obese people will ever reach anything that's considered a healthy body weight. Out of people who do lose weight, 95% of them will gain it back. And 80% of obese children will become obese adults.
Fat cells never leave.
It's way easier to be obese than it is to be healthy. It's way less work, and most of the time it's cheaper. Like McDonald's is way cheaper than buying organic, whole grain fruits and vegetables.
Or good fish, seafood, turkey, chicken. That's why a lot of poverty is tied into obesity.
And that's sad that it's easier to be obese than it is to be healthy. And so sometimes a lot of people, you would think, oh, if you can't afford food, you're probably not going to weigh that much. But people who do have food, the food that they can afford is bad food. so they're going to gain weight whether they want to or not. Like college students, the freshman 15, a lot of college students are poor. They buy ramen noodles, they buy McDonald's, they gain weight.
You ever been down in those serving areas on campus, like up at Central? I walked in there with one of my buds. I didn't live on campus. He goes, "Come on, I'll get you a meal card." Paid $10. All you can eat anything, and most of it's like macaroni and cheese, grilled cheese, chicken nuggets off the freaking wall, you know, wings and the stuff. It's all deep fried stuff. It's almost impossible. They do have salad bars and stuff, but it's hard.
Yeah. But the same guy who I mentioned on my last slide, he had gastric bypass surgery when he was, I think, 20, right after he
You guys
got
know
out
what
of
that
school,
is?
early college.
You guys know what it is?
They take out.
You want to tell them?
Gastric bypass is a surgery that you can get. Basically, they shrink your stomach so that when you do eat, you get full.
They shrink it to the size of your fist.
Mm-hmm.
It's unbelievable.
I remember my aunt also had gastric bypass, and after she got it, well, you can't drink out of straws when you have that surgery because if you get air in your stomach, then it'll expand again. And we would go to McDonald's or whatever, and she would get a burger and some fries, and she wouldn't even be able to eat
Wouldn't even
half
be
of
able
the
to eat it all.
burger, like 3 fries. It's effective. But he got gastric bypass when he was about 20, and he gained it all back in the next 10 years.
And that skin that stretches out, oh man, it's brutal. The obesity.
And with kids, he has a wife and they have a kid, and his wife is also a large person. Their kid, when he was a baby and a toddler, he looked like a regular kid. He was completely normal size, but now he's morbidly obese.
How old is he now?
14.
Oh my God.
I hate to say this, but it's a lifestyle. Likely, his parents are obese because of how they eat and because they don't/can't get exercise. He ate what they ate, gained weight, and now he can't get exercise because he can't move around as well. And it's sad. He isn't able to play with my siblings, like he can't run around or swim or jog or anything, which that's sad.
It's sad.
I think.
It's not a life. There's no life in that life.
And with that, I think that a lot of people remain the size that they are because they're embarrassed. It's embarrassing to go to the gym. It's embarrassing to be seen in public even sometimes.
People judge them. They make fun of them. It's sad.
And that's kind of what I get into on the next slide with mental health. But something to combat that, I think, is people get a group of people together who want to lose weight.
Yeah.
Rent out a space.
Fit clubs.
And have it just be you guys. No other people to judge. And I think a lot of it is judgment. That's why people say that way. And next is mental health. That's an issue in obese people. Obese people have 20% increased risk of having depression. Suicide prevalence is 13% higher in males and 33% higher in females who are obese. And obese people just in general have a 30 to 70% higher risk of developing any
No
mental health
self-esteem.
disorder.
There's no self-esteem. Uh-oh.
Okay.
Do you have any research on the last one, or is it just from Google?
I got 70%, or actually more like 90% of all this is from the National Institute of Mental Health. I just didn't put it in there, but I didn't just make that up. But
Yeah.
in general, is there a fat person or a very large, morbidly obese person that is happy? Like, are you happy if you are?
Jelly
happy?
roll.
I'm happy.
Okay.
Xander's an overall happy person.
Xander's not 600 pounds.
Sanders not obese. Jeez.
What?
What about the powerlifter who weighs like 400 something pounds?
Eddie.
Not even Eddie Hall, just any powerlifter,
King.
strongman that can deadlift like 800 some pounds, but still has like a
What?
1% body
What about Tammy?
Is that
Tammy's
muscle
pretty
or
happy.
is that fat?
It's
Like-
30% body fat, so on top of the muscle they have that fat.
But the amount of muscle they have is.
They don't have 30% body fat
What I'm saying, what I'm getting at is the people that I'm talking about are the people on my 600-pound life who can't even move. They can't
Kinda
walk.
like
Okay,
They-
that
Yeah.
changes
I'm
things.
not
Like
talking
those
about
on-
people like that.
I'll agree.
But,
I don't know. Tammy seemed pretty happy in her show.
Tammy lost 600 pounds.
Oh my God! You know, seriously, is that baby Booby Boo's mom or whatever? Honey Boo Boo, is that her mom?
No, wrong one.
Okay,
Different
keep
one.
going. We got distracted.
It was not Mama June. It was not Mama June.
That's what I was thinking.
But I
Shh,
think
come back.
all I'm saying is people like that are not happy. If you have to sit in your bed all day and eat, and that's all you can do because you can't walk or move, you're not happy.
Nope.
And then you get into the cycle. You're sad because you can't do anything. You eat. A lot of people get this way because food is their comfort. And even with, it starts oftentimes as having something traumatizing happen to you, most likely when you're young. And then you have food as a comfort, and then it grows and it grows, and you grow, and it just,
Lillyana, if you watch The Whale,
no.
it'll break your heart. Have you guys seen The Whale with Brendan Fraser? He got an Academy Award for that role. If you watch how they made that movie, it'll blow your mind. But it's unbelievable what happened to him that got him in that state. Okay, what else?
Okay. So, accountability. A lot of fat people, or obese people, I should say, they don't want to take accountability. Sometimes they can't because they can't see it. I mean, we've all probably seen the horror stories, the people who don't want to pay for 2 airplane seats because that's what they need, or people who say that public spaces shouldn't have chairs with arms on them for large people. I personally don't think that's right. Obviously, we see that obese people are a large percentage of the population, but I don't think that we should make that the norm by catering to these people and putting those types of chairs, not making people pay for additional seats on an airplane. I don't think that that is right because it normalizes it, and being obese is not normal.
I have a friend, every time she flies, she has to pay for 2 seats. And my buddy, my former student, is my doctor, he has chairs that are double the width of what you guys are sitting in with arms on them. with
God,
extra
urgent
cushion.
care. Urgent care, they have them.
Yeah, they have a lot of different for bigger people.
Urgent care really has every single type of different.
I agree, accountability though, you're right.
And going along with that, this whole body positive movement, that's fine. I'm not telling you that you cannot be comfortable in your body if you're a large person.
Be
but
healthy.
Stop trying to make it normal.
Be healthy. Be a healthy weight. Doesn't matter what you look like, just take care of yourself.
It's not normal to be huge. That's all I'm going to say. Okay. And being obese is not natural. It never was. But touching on that, there are people who will argue that it is, and I'm not going to tell you that you're wrong. This is just one example of a time where you can't really help it. It's called Prader-Willi syndrome. It's very, very rare. But if you want to get into hypotheticals and what ifs, this is one of them. Less than 20,000 cases a year, but it's still a real condition. Prader-Willi syndrome is a genetic condition, and it stunts children's growth. It gives them intellectual disabilities, and when they hit about between ages 2 and 6, gives them just huge appetite. They can't stop eating no matter what you do. You can't get your kid to stop eating. And inside, I don't know what I'm trying to think of, but it actually slows your metabolism. If you have this disorder, you have slow metabolism. This is kind of gross, but this is what a child who has that disorder looks like.
Yeah.
It's very sad,
There's
but
nothing
it
he
is
can
real.
do.
What?
So if the parents gave them portions and watched how much they ate, that wouldn't affect them at all, right? Negatively it wouldn't because how they're always hungry, or did they just have to fight the hunger?
That's the thing too. Because they have intellectual disability, And when they do eat, because they eat so much, no matter how much they eat, their metabolism is so slow that they will gain weight either way. But this is just one of those what ifs,
Sad.
medical condition. There's more. This is just a comment. Obesity, it's not natural. It's a horrible thing. I think that I hope to see in my lifetime a slow of the growth of it. It grows every year. More and more and more people grow to be obese every single year. And a lot of that comes from fast food, inflation, and so.
Well done, dear. Well done, well done, well done. Matt, can you do it in under 7 minutes?
Oh, yeah, I should.
Okay.
My dad, she was making fun of me one time. And it's really bad that he did this. But he was like, Eric just kept on eating. He was just kept on
The first
eating.
time I
Yeah, sure, and everything.